Hello there, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be doing a layout based on this sketch from the Hip Kit Club's Facebook page. The design team girls do a weekly sketch challenge. As you can see, I'm going to be starting with some modelling paste. I've just used an old scrap from a cut file and had a leaf pattern that I really wanted to use as the basis for that sketch, that circle. So I've started with that and I've dried that completely. And I'm just showing you my photos here. I've cut the two smaller ones down to 3 by 3 inch, the larger ones 4 1/4 inch by 4. And as you can see, I've used some of the Willow Lane papers that come with the main kit, and I've fussy cut some florals, butterflies, and some hearts, hoping to use those around that wreath. So I'm just placing my photos in a similar layout to the sketch design, and then working out what florals I want behind each photo. So I want a bit of the blue, then I want a bit of these other coloured florals, and then I want some butterflies evenly spread out around that wreath. Now, the wreath was a little messy because it wasn't an enclosed cut file, it was open on the edges. So it's not particularly neat and it ends up mostly being covered anyway. So I wasn't too worried about the neatness of it. I just wanted something there in the background to highlight that circle. So I'm just working out and placing where I want each embellishment. I do add a few of those hearts, but I don't end up using them on the layout. It ended up just closing in that circle too much, and you couldn't really see that it was a circle pattern with so much going on either side of each photo. So I've grabbed that scrap that I actually used on a previous layout, and I'm going to place that behind my main photo. I've added a banner in that top photo. And then I'm just adding this frame. I've cut it in half on the diagonal, and I'm going to be using that behind each smaller photo. Just working out placement of a couple more butterflies. And I'm happy with that. So it pretty much stays the same. I'm going to use that packaging wood grain to back that main photo. I just love that wood grain. I love the paper that Crate Paper does, their wood grain papers. So to have it in the back of the packaging, I wasn't going to waste that at all. So I back my photo with that. And now I'm just adhering all the little bits and pieces to the backs of those smaller photos. I'm just using my tiny attacher simply because it's easiest rather than gluing everything. So I'm just stapling that banner. I tore that in half because it was quite big. So I've used the bottom banner half on that top photo. And I'm just adding these floral elements now with a little bit of Scotch tacky glue that I've got in that fine line bottle, which I actually got off eBay here in Australia. And I actually got my second bottle of Scotch tacky glue from Deal of the Day or Catch of the Day. You can get that on there too. So just gluing on the bits and pieces and stapling on those scraps behind the photos just to give it some layering and to help it stand out a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to back those two smaller photos, pop it up on some foam tape just to help them stand out a little bit. They're a little bit smaller, so I don't want them to get lost in amongst those florals. So I'm just going to add that one there and just finish with the grouping, the cluster of embellishments for that one. Adding that butterfly on and gluing these two florals together. Making sure I'm happy with the placement of that, and then I'm going to glue it down. Now you'll actually see me lift this back off once I get my photo onto the foam tape. And I'm about to place it down. I lift that floral, and the reason I do that is because I end up covering up most of that pink flower you can see there. I want still a bit of pink in that cluster. So I just move that around and place my photo down. So I'm going to start gluing and gathering all this final cluster together. And I'm actually going to use my ATG gun for that big one. And the reason I'm sticking that on that side is because that floral was on the edge of the paper when I fussy cut it. So it has some sharp bits that have been cut off. So I want to hide those. Just getting the other floral elements onto that cluster. And I'm not popping that one up on foam tape. You'll see me grab my ATG gun again, and I'm just going to stick that one down on the flat. Now you can see here a bit of trouble again with my ATG gun. I think that's because I've used a generic brand of tape in that gun. I don't know. I seem to have trouble with it if I use generic brands. I don't know if anyone else does. All right, I've got that down, and I'm going to put the second half of that little banner I tore earlier above that second smaller photo. And just finishing off with some butterflies on that main photo. Now, some of those floral elements do hang over the edge of the layout, and of course it won't fit in a page protector like that. So I'm just trimming those down and trying to make hearts work again. What I end up doing is I grab some of these clear stickers and I add them one to each photo. I'm just checking there's nothing else on there I want to use, and there's not. So I'm grabbing some of these floral stickers from the Willow Lane collection and just adding a couple to those two smaller photos, because that large photo has enough to it, but the smaller ones, I just want to add a couple more things there. Now I'm grabbing out the alphabet that came with the main kit, and it's black, and I don't have a lot of black on the page, so I'm just doing the smaller word of the title in that. And I found or remembered that I had some blue alpha stickers from a Hip Kit Club kit we got quite a while ago, so I've used those for the main word of my title, which reads Snowball Fight. And I'm just using my White Dylusions paint now, watering it down quite a bit, to add just a small amount of splatters around my title and photos. I don't want too much, but just a little bit to emphasize that spraying snow that's in those couple of photos. I'm doing my journaling now, and I'm just recording about the photos. It was quite funny. We went down to the snow, and my husband threw a snowball at my daughter and got her fair and square in the face, and she couldn't stop laughing. So there's my layout done, using the sketch from Hip Kit Club's weekly Facebook challenge as a basis for my layout. Some close-up shots. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.